can you tell me about the authors of these poems? Joe, read this one out for me, darling.
Man with the broken blood, blue glass and gold. Tell me that story that my mother told. The story started with your perfect smile just after you began to come a while.
OK, that's lovely. Let's do another one. Alan, you could maybe read this one for me, darling?
The frozen waters that are dead are now black as the rain to freeze a boundless sky, and frozen ode of our terrors with the grisly lady she'll be free to cry.
OK. What is wrong with both those poems? What
shit.
Yes. Is the correct answer. They were both written by... What do we reckon?
A bad poet.
No, they were written by computer. They were written by a computer program. So there's a man called Jack Hopkins, he's a researcher at the University of Cambridge, and he fed huge amounts of poetry into what's called a deep learning program to teach it to produce its own, and that is what the computer came up with. But I have to say, in terms of bad poetry, we don't need any help, do we? I think human beings are perfectly capable. Anybody know, he's widely considered the worst poet in the English language.
Ooh. Ed Sheeran.
I rather like Ed Sheeran. Why does he do that funny thing with his hair?
It's just being ginger.
Okay, that's a mistake. William McGonagall, probably considered the worst poet of the English language. Lived 1825 to 1902. One of my favourites, his Ode to the Tay Bridge Rail Disaster of 1879. Terrible disaster. A bridge collapsed under a train during a storm. It killed everybody aboard, and he wrote, "And the cry rang out all o'er the town. Good heavens, the Tay Bridge is blown down." So
It's just so beautiful.
I know. This is arguably bested, or possibly worsted, in 1873 by a British museum employee called Théophile Jules-Henri Martials. Here's his poem, A Tragedy. It's considered one of the worst poems of all time. These are the final lines. I can dare, and let myself all run away with my head and stop, drop, dead, plop, flop, plop.
I've often wondered what I wanted read at my funeral.
Isn't it perfect? Before the show, I asked everybody to write a poem to see if we could beat Mr. McGonagall, or indeed Théophile. So I've got one. Here we are. What would we be without Alan? Totally unbalanced. That's where. It's a haiku. Do you like it?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, it's written by my agent. I hadn't got time. You want to begin?
I've written a haiku as well.
Oh, go for it, darling.
First time on QI, must not swear and let mum down. Piece of fucking piss.
Thank you for watching. Do remember to subscribe to the QI channel and click here to watch more videos.